Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Biblical Britain Uncoded. Firstly, welcome any new members or any new subscribers, I should say. If you haven't subscribed, and just so you know, I found this out a few years ago, but it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe to a channel. It just literally makes you part of it. Right, what a week. Well, what a couple of weeks really. Obviously, firstly, apologies. There's been a delay in bringing out this video. We've been rolling at around 2 weeks, but and something unbelievable has taken place. I made a silly error, but out of this error comes something absolutely, well, for me, relief it's absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, so what actually happened was my birthday, 30th of June, funnily enough, 3 years from the day that I actually gave up my business as well, to the day I gave it up on my birthday. I'm sure there's significance in that. But basically, in the week, I work where I am now in Corsham, Sunday to Thursday, and then on a Friday, instead of working here, I work a door, a pub door, and just do basically, so I get an early finish. I finish at 1:30 on the pub door, and then literally get home, and I'm then, by daylight, obviously I'm tucked up in bed and I'm having my day of rest, the Sabbath day. However, one of my colleagues is off. And they were having trouble. I'm not too sure what happened, but they were having trouble. Basically, my boss was trying to cover it. He's aware of my Sabbath, but obviously, I guess they don't see it in the same light. They probably just assume Saturday off and what have you. But it's a bit more specific than that, as I found out. Right. So effectively, what happened is my boss asked me to work here 12-hour nights on the Friday, and in my infinite stupidity I agreed to do it. But the problem is, it meant me finishing at 5:30, 5:45 in the morning, which means I'd be going home in the light. And I got home about, 7:30, but obviously at this time of year the sun was already up. Okay, so moving on from there, I tried to make a video. I had code. Well, I got so much of it now. I'm not sure I'm going to fit it all in this video, but I got code. Tried to do a video. First video failed. I don't know. I messed something up. Something went wrong. I think it was technical. But either way, it didn't work. Again, I tried. The power went on the laptop just randomly. The third time, fourth time, there was no sound, and one thing and another, I just could not make this video. And I would get to an hour into it or whatever, and it just kept going wrong. Now, in the meantime, I've realised that, because I just know when things are not going right, that I've made this error with this Sabbath, because part of the deal that I have is that the biggest part of it is I agreed to do the Sabbath, and I've done it for three years, I think it is, or 3.5. Get 3.5 years now, and I've not. And the Sabbath day is effectively, it's written into Saturday, so you know this is the Sabbath day. But what this says is, at roost day. At roost day. Oh yeah, at roost. Oh yeah, D-A-Y. Okay, good, right then. Right. So at roost day. So what it effectively means is I need to be at roost, which is Jerusalem, where I live, decoded Jerusalem, the real Jerusalem. Obviously on a Saturday in the day. That's the long and short of it. Okay, and follow his rule, because it is indeed the land of his rule, not Israel. And his rule is in the Sabbath, written in the Sab River, which is the River Severn, the old name being the Sabrina, well, to change to Sabrina from the Sab. Okay, and then you take your symbolic Sab bath on a Saturday at roost, basically. That's what it amounts to. But as I say, in my wisdom, or not my lack of wisdom really, and I won't be doing it again, that's for sure. But what I start to get it, when this started, when I first agreed to do this job, I went through a period where I saw the matrix, but it isn't the matrix that I generate, like the matrix with the good code. It was, well, to put it mildly, my life flashed before my eyes. Things that I'd done were just showing up in everything, to the point where I couldn't even look at TV. I couldn't read anything, because everything I was seeing was these effectively bad messages, which I didn't want to ever go down that road again, and I really don't. However, obviously I got myself clean and did my Sabbaths and everything else, but God come now, obviously I mess up. And all of a sudden, I'm not going to put the actual messages down, but I'm finding messages on the matrix, saying basically I broke my word, the contract was rescinded, and I was fired effectively, and that is pretty much what it said. Obviously, I have been pleading really, because I thought I'd let everybody down with this code, you know, those that are following it, and I don't know the consequences of if I mess up. And I really thought I had messed up, and well, I did mess up, obviously, but I was saying, look, I was struggling with the boundaries. I didn't know I tested the boundary, I guess, but took it, you know, a little bit too lightly. And ended up paying the price, and it's been an horrendous time, I can assure you. But however, yesterday, right, there's a bunch of star codes or constellation messages that I'm about to show you that all fit in. Now, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. Right, written in this is a message that actually I'm pretty sure puts this to bed, and I just hope that if this video uploads, you know that this is kind of clear. I hope cleared up the matter, and at least I'm back able to show you these codes, which are piling up at the minute. As you can see on the board, I've put I'm going to leave. There's a message in this as well. There's an anagram message in there, but I'm not going to show you that one for now, because that one actually fits with all the other. The messages we're going to go through are Eridanus, which gives you Eden and the river near us, basically, near Eden. I'll run through all this now. Hydra, the ones we're going to do are Hydra, the water monster. Serpens, the serpent, is split into three. Serpents called Ophiuchus, which is the same name as this, but it's a separate set of stars. I don't get it, but there is. Then you've got serpents kaput. They all make up the serpents. Serpents the serpent. Then we've got Hydrus the water monster. This one Ophiuchus the serpent bearer, and then Hydrus and Hydra are the other two constellations. Okay, but effectively they're all bad. Pretty much all bad. There's good message in it as well as a bad message, but it highlights really the deceit. I'll tell you straight, the deceit of the Vatican and the churches. But right, before I go any further, what I want to show you, because just to show you how amazing this matrix is and how real it is, the message, the clear message that is written in this, I'm about to do. I'm not sure, you could call it a confession, through a message written in the stars. Now, bear in mind, this message has been there long before I even did what I just did, but it clearly deals with clearly identifies what I just did, and from reading it, it obviously lets me know that I can continue on and, you know, just don't do it again, really. But on that note, just 2 seconds. Okay, as you can see, folks, right, the message is quite clear. It says, I, Marco Guy, realise Sabbath error. And boy, and I do realise it was an error. I mean, I didn't do it, well, I just got a bit, I don't know, maybe complacent, but clearly won't be doing that again. But as you can see, and this is not obviously not anagrammed out of this is a separate message. The stars that I just put up, if you cross them out literally, and right, it's basically these stars and these titles and all the Atlas message is just it's literally a message jumbled up in the names of places in creation. So when you unravel it, obviously you find the hidden message in it, and that's what it is. But they generally, they will tie up with pictures as well, as you will see. And I've got some absolutely phenomenal things to show you that absolutely defy logic. And you'll see that there is no coincidence, and this really is happening. So so far it says right, and now this is letting me know now. So she's saying right. So far, this is giving me permission to carry on. That's what it's doing. So it says so far I ID Apple, which I've done. We'll be looking at that later because that comes up again. And ID the Ark key. Well, the Ark of the key. Right. Not only is the key, there's the key for, and where the Ark of the Covenant is buried is under the lock. I've already done that in previous videos if you haven't seen it. But the Covenant is basically with me, and that's what this was. It was a slip up in the Covenant, really. I broke the Covenant, really, but clearly, yeah. Understanding that it wasn't quite as blatant as I meant. Didn't mean to do it, but I thought something that wasn't basic. It's too hard to explain, but either way, what this is C on Venter. Well, Venter is the fort where I live is called Venter Silurum, or that's the name that it has at the moment, which covers up basically was used to cover up Jerusalem, and the sea is once you get to secret sea, it's written in crescent moon. Crescent moon is an anagram of secret sea on Mon. You can check that. The Pleiades that you find above the symbol is Please ID. So on Solomon's pillar symbol, you get the 7 stars, which are the Pleiades, Please ID. Then you get the crescent moon. Crescent moon is an anagram of secret sea on Mon. Crescent, crescent, Moon. So a secret crescent moon is secret sea on Mon. So the secret sea on Mod, you just add the sea to King Solomon's temple, for example, or King Solomon's key. In this case, well, the Ark is under one. The key is the other fort that leads to it. It points to the apple as well. The key is here, or the key fort goes directly through the lock, this padlock on the temple, and then hits the apple of Eden on the other side, all within about a quarter of a mile of each other. So it's kings. So see King Solomon. So we'll put temple, and then what you do is you just unscrabble it. So King Mon's temple, or Mon's key if it's the fort, the one fort, the temple's the one fort, or so locking Solomon's apple as well. So locking locking Mon's apple. It's literally the absolute genius coding, but effectively that's what you get. So, but the Ark, but like I say, the Ark of the Covenant is on Venter. It's on Venter Silurum. That's where the Ark is buried. The Ark of the Covenant is buried underneath that lock on the temple. If you haven't seen it, I'd suggest watching the other videos, although you should see, if I've got time, pictures of the lock and everything else as we move on. But as you can see, folks, there is no coincidence, and the Temple of Mon, for anybody who's new, is in Mon. This temple is in what they claim to be a Roman fort. It's an ancient fort, basically, Walls are 16 to 18 feet high still in some places. In its day, it was 60 to 70 feet high. It was an ancient city. It was built by the tribe called the Silures, who are what have been changed to the Israelites, which is Israel lies, and there's a T in it which gives it a cross, but that's another story. But basically it's the Siluri with the tribe that lived there. I've identified Solomon being Coelin ap Caradoc and David being a code for Caradoc ap Bran. Okay, so this is all Welsh or all British in the land of his rule, the Sabbath, the land with his rule written into it, or now known as the River Severn. Okay, right. This one's just really a little reminder. I mean, if you haven't seen the last video, it's well worth watching. The Eden video, how you identify Eden. Okay, it starts off with basically the constellation of Eridanus, the river. When you unscrabble Eridanus, the river, it says ID, the river near us. Well, the us, when you unscrabble an Eridanus on its own, it says I, Ned, which is the Nedon, and A Rus, which is Jerusalem. Brackets. So basically, it's identifying the dried up river which runs parallel to the front of literally to the front of Jerusalem. And right, okay. Just taking that aside, I mean, there's a lot more to it, but I've done it on the last video. But the message in the stars of Eridanus, same as the last one, when you take all the star names, break the message, or unscrabble the message, what it actually says, and it fits perfectly with the picture of the Apple Mound. There's a mound on the wall where I live. It built into the wall of Jerusalem. In the corner, literally opposite to where I live, is an apple. Amazing. I thought it was pareidolia. It really wasn't. I got taken to the constellation Eridanus, and then it all unfolded in front of me. There's so much more to that. But all I want to do is just rerun, because this is so important to the whole message that I'm going to bring you, to show you that all these messages are all written in the stars, and they all link together, and they all, well, they literally give you a message. So to be coincidence, along with the pictures and everything else, it just puts this beyond coincidence, and that's what the whole thing is, to show you that this really is a matrix or a matrix, and Atlas being a last anagram at a last, and there's a last message written using matrix, the matrix of the creator, the real creator, Yahweh. Okay, so the message in the constellation Eridanus stars is Ra, a macabre snake, a curse, Adam his at ruin. Well, Adam's ruin and curse is basically this apple that's on the corner of the fort, and I believe this is where this tree once sat. That's my guess, and I believe the tree of life would have been where the key fort is. Melon, which is elm as well. Mel and elm go hand in hand, or they're anagrams of one another. Okay, so Adam is at ruin. Well, there's Adam's curse. It's a picture of an apple made up of in a mound, basically. Absolutely incredible how it's there, and can only be the work of the one creator, Yahweh. Okay, that was just a quick reminder. Let's move on. Okay, folks, the next constellation title, Hydra, being Hydra the water monster. When you anagram this down, which is literally take the letters down, as I say, this is just all these letters basically are from this, and it reads exactly as it says. It says, try show Ra Eden matter. Now, I did this on the last video, and what this is to do with, I'm afraid, is that, see, Satan, the word Satan is a kind of ruse. It's used to take the real name of the serpent in the garden, the real first evil twisted snake. His name is Ra. But to take, obviously, right, if you're saying your prayers and you're saying Amen, and you know that the evil one, or the Satan, his real name is Ra, it tends to put it a little bit obvious, well, it's very obvious, because this thing is bounced off from Egypt. But what it is cleverly done, what this should say at the bottom of any prayer, and what I do, is you name. Sorry, hang on, let's just do this. Again, I've done this on the other one, but Amen is a anagram of name. So what you're supposed to do is name who you're sending your prayer to. But when you say, and what this sneaky thing has basically created this character of Amen Ra, because this thing bounces through history and causes chaos everywhere it goes. There's a trail of it from Sodom and Gomorrah to Egypt, and it goes on and on. But this thing just goes along, it brings nations down. That's what it does. But what it's done is got you to trick you by using this amen. So what you're actually doing when you say amen is he's tagged himself to this. So you'll get offering your prayers to the snake, basically, or this creature, this entity called Ra, and it is an entity. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I've actually seen this thing. I've seen it in a vision, and it is not what you think. I don't even know how to explain it. It's a parasite. I don't know whether it's literally in this realm and it's very stealthy, but it more resembles, well, it does, that kind of flatfish. But when Yah said that, the curse of the snake, don't forget, and I get this in my head, it's harder to go lower than a snake's belly. But obviously it was a snake. I don't know whether it was a snake with arms. I think it was upright. I think it might have been more lizard-like. But either way, it was to eat dust for the rest of its days. Well, if you're I hate to use the word, but it's like a flatfish thing, because that's what it is. It's a disgusting looking thing with black eyes. Obviously, their mouth is underneath, so you would really eat dust, and it's the lowest you can go, basically, to the floor. Okay, right, without getting too paranormal, but it says try show Ra Eden matter. Well, the Eden matter is the show Ra Eden matter, the Eden subject. Well, the subject, and this is to do with where Eve ate the apple, basically. And bear in mind, right, the church and Jesus, this whole deception. When he offers you eternal life, and that's exactly what the snake said to Adam and Eve. Clearly weren't going to die, and they lived in the garden in peace. And then he tempts her, but he says, something, or he told you not to eat off the tree, but surely they will not die. Well, Jesus, or the story and this whole deception of Jesus and the church is Ra. It's the church of Ra, as I will show you in code coming up. And what basically they're offering is eternal life, and it's not theirs to give, and it certainly wouldn't. It's no, it's like I'm not able to give to. All I can do is guide you to the real Creator, Yahweh, and you need to do, and He says in the Old Testament, you need to save yourself. Man can't save his son, and the father can't save the son, and the son can't save the father. They have to do it themselves. And I've already shown in many videos how you do that by putting your sins in your palms. Okay, but the apple, then in the next code, again, you'd have to go back. There's an Atlas message. It says, I, Solomon, it says something about Adam and Eve's apple sin on wall. This is the Atlas matrix line. Made up of place names, basically. The message, it goes from Evesham to the lock on Caerwent, which points then to the apple. But the message tells you, it's something about he sees Adam and Eve's Atlas apple sin on Caerwent wall. Then it says, I, Solomon, get church. Something about something about tied into the H. Same story. In other words, he basically, he didn't have 700 wives. It's talking, and 300 concubines. It's talking to churches, religions, chapels. That's what it's talking about. But basically, he let his guard down, let them in, and the clan, being the Welsh word for church, took over the clans, basically. And this is about reinstating the clans and what will happen is those will be gone. Without drifting too far off it, but try show Ra Eden matter. This is the Ra Eden matter. It's basically and it's about the reskinning of the apple of Eden. And this is what he's using. This is the church. I'm sorry to say it, guys and girls, but the truth is truth. And what I'm showing you doesn't come from some book written by 4 people, well, with there's no real record other than a man. Well, I can tell you, it's a man. Well, Church, Vatican written book, or the New Testament, complete absolute nonsense, based on somebody called Aisu, who can even decode from Eridanus as well. But again, you'll have to go back and see the other one. But this is what he's saying: they've reskinned the apple. They've reskinned the apple, and don't bite it. When Yah says, "Come out of her, my people," he's talking of the church. They've obviously twisted it round in the New Testament, and they're actually what's crazy about it is it's just so confusing and it's deliberately done to make you believe that what is their version of "come out of her"? Come out. What is her? Well, I can tell you. Well, part of it is her webs. Because there's a passage, I won't get into it now, but there's a passage in, I forget where it is, but it's about the cockatrice, which decodes to Wales, basically. And it says about the spider weaves her webs, and those that eat of her diet. The spider weaves its webs or something and lays its eggs, and those that eat of her diet. Well, basically, by saying the eggs, it tells you it's a female spider. So, and the eggs have been laid in the Middle East, basically. Really, I think that's what it's saying, and that these eggs but what it really is all the Hebrew it is her web. The spider weaves her web. It's Hebrew. The story of the Middle East, the whole thing is just a lie to entrap you so you don't ever find out the truth. Obviously, they planned this a lot, and they've had thousands of years to indoctrinate people, and that's what the church has done and made us believe. Well, and the deception goes right back to the beginning with this Ra. That is the deception that Satan, he just he reskins himself, basically, from Amen Ra. Horus is Jesus, I'm afraid. Amen Ra is what you would know as God. So the God you trust, as in on the American dollar with all the Egyptian symbology, and the Vatican, and all of them say Amen. Well, their God, I'm afraid, is Ra. And this is the deception, and this is the Eden matter. Okay, next one. Okay, folks, so just so you see, lightning doesn't strike twice. Well, it's going to strike in many places. Right, serpents, the constellation of serpents, the serpent. This is a different constellation again. Okay. Well, firstly, serpents, the serpents is an anagram of he repents serpents. Well, who repents serpents? Right, weirdly, the serpents, for some, I don't know what the reason is split into 3 parts. Serpents cordia, Ophigy, whatever this one is again, but I think this is not the same as the other Ophigy, so I don't know, or it's a different angle with different stars, but the stars are different anyway, because there's a message in these stars as well, which I'll come to. Serpents, this is the message, Serpents cordia, Ophiges and serpents kaput. Okay, so when I unscrabble this message, and this is why stars have strange names. I mean, you're going to see some real bizarre ones coming up. They're just unpronounceable, but they're not. They're there because they're all hidden messages. You just got to know. Well, you just got to have the eye, I guess, to see it. Obviously, I just get shown it, and then I pass it on to you. So you not getting the message just from me telling you, oh yeah, spoke to me and said, because he doesn't speak to me. He just puts I don't know how he does. He just puts his thoughts in my head. I go to these places, and the message just appears. It's incredible, really, but anyway. Right, serpent's called, right, the message says, asp causes Eden church sin. This is the reskinning of the apple. Don't bite the apple of the church, basically. That's what he's saying. Because their salvation, their Messiah coming on a horse out of the sky and all this, absolute nonsense. And while you're waiting for him, there's, well, like I say, what's a World War III one, and you know what's coming. And there's a safe zone to get away from all this. This is it. Right. Okay, so as causes Eden church sin, Pope, you trap us. So P repents serpents. Now I don't know if you've ever seen the inside of the Vatican meeting hall, or I think that's what it's called. What is it called? A general audience hall. But it is clearly a viper. It represents Ra, a snake, and I'll show you a picture of it shortly. Just to, you know, he is the thought. When he speaks, he sat between the two fangs, and literally being the tongue of the serpent. He's unbelievable, and all your repents. Like I said long ago, don't. I realise that repents is an anagram of serpents. So when you repent, you're playing with serpents. That's what it amounts to. And he's obviously, and that the asp he's caused the Eden Church sin with the Amen, Ra, and so forth. Reskinned the apple, basically called just so you've got what were false gods of Egypt, which effectively Ra and and Horus. They're not even, you know, they're not. Well, Ra is real, obviously, but he's not a god, that's for sure. And then obviously this is what they've done, and so come out of her, basically come out of the church, and like I say, I've already revealed who he's the Antichrist or what they're expecting to be the Antichrist is going against Christians. It's not really. It's Lucifer who's the owner of Black Rock, basically, and I've done an extensive. I've even calculated the number of the beast. Says he who hath understanding reckon the number of the beast. Well, I've done all that, and I show it in my last video. Lucifer and Ra are two separate entities. Ra is a parasitic thing that attaches to people, and for want of better words, he does what Yah does to me, he does to them. But obviously, this thing has been at work for thousands of years. And in the meantime, and it says Satan deceives the whole world. Well, he does, because his name isn't Satan, it's Ra for one. So there's the first deception. And basically, everybody believes that either Jerusalem is in the Middle East, and you know it's the Holy Land, and they think, you know, the deception goes deep. Anyway, let's continue. What I've done, I put this Trisho Ra Eden Matter. That's the first one. So now I'm going to put these two up. And obviously we're going to just keep folding these down so you see the entire kind of message. Okay, now the one this is basically off Vitufus the Serpent Bearer. This is the one where when I started off I said, I'm Marco Guy, realised Sabbath error. So far I the apple, I the shark key. Right, now this itself, secret message. This is the title, the actual constellation, not the stars. The message comes from the stars. But the actual title message is, Ra be ruse, put hope in secret H. Well, I'm the secret H. Why, I do not know, and I've got a lot more to come on this because I've found some stuff that absolutely defies logic. Whether I can do it on this video, I don't know. I may have to do it on the next one. But be assured, I am the secret H. And I've got a safe zone, and I'll tell you how to do, you know, what you need to do and how to get right with Yah. And that's my job, is to guide you to him. I can't save you, there's nobody can save you. This is the lie, the whole church lie that someone can save you is nonsense. You cannot do it. You have to save yourself. Okay. Right. I'm just going to put this one up and then move on to the next one. Okay, folks, the last one is Hydrus the water snake, another different constellation, but notice these are all about the snakes and a water monster, and this thing is like a water monster. It's also a reference to Leviathan, Leviathan Rome, the big, the shark. Okay, so the last one, I've done it back to front, is Hydrus the water snake, but when you unscrabble these letters down, it says, Saw Ra Eden Key, Trust H. So not only have you got it once, you've got it twice. And obviously, well, say this concludes. Right, this concludes a message, but there's a big one, something big to add on to this, because I'm about to prove to you something incredible. Okay, so if I just take this off now, what we've got, so we've got Trisho Ra Eden Matter. The Ra Eden Matter is to say Amen, which is naming Ra as your God. which is and as causes Eden Church sin. So the Eden Church sin is worshipping Amen-Ra without you even knowing it. Pope, you trap us. And this does not just apply to the Vatican, this applies to Christianity. And Christianity is the curse on the people. It's just reskinned Egypt. They've just hidden it, reskinned and rebranded it. That's what it is. It says, sin Pope, you trap us. He repents, serpent. He repents. Asp causes, I've done this in reverse. He asp causes Eden Church sin. Pope, you trap us. He repents, serpents. Rabbi ruse, well he is, he's leading you in the wrong direction. He's making, he's a ruse is something that, you know, it's like a bluff, well, you know, he's giving, well, it's just lying, deceit really, and that's what he is. He is a deceiver. Rabbi ruse, put hope in secret H, and then just to back it up, it says, saw Ra, Eden key. Well, the Eden key again, to get to Ra, you need the fort with the key, the fort with the lock, and then that leads to the apple in the corner of the fort, which is the saw Ra, Eden key, trust H. Again, like I say, I'm the H. I'm the one that's been sent to give you this message. How? I don't know. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it myself. And I didn't believe any of this 3 years ago. I really didn't. But it's just so undeniable that even this message could be pulled out of star constellations. And I got another one yet that even, well, just triples this really. Okay, and uses the map as well to show you something absolutely. I'm going to connect the Vatican to where I am now, or Vatican City to where I am right now, doing these videos from the place. Well, I'll come to it, but you'll see now the absolute brilliance in this code, and could only, you know, this isn't Satan's work. Obviously, I am literally exposing the liars and the deceivers and the liars. And I'm doing it through impossible means. This code should not be there. If you're gonna, you know, people can say you can anagram things. Well, there's anagrams is one thing. It's only part of this. We have entire pictures, coded messages in pictures, star constellations. It's all built into creation. It's not. And the only person that could put this code there is the one that created everything and named everything without any shadow of a doubt. And he is very real. Okay, 2 seconds. Okay, folks, Hydra and the Hydra, I think is the water monster or whatever it is. Hydra, the water monster, and Hydra, the water snake. Okay, now these are the stars. Right, for this one you have to combine. I had to combine. Well, and this is where it gets amazing. How I knew to just combine these two, because they're separate star constellations. As far as I remember, all the star constellations I've decoded in the past have all been from one constellation. But instantly, for some, like I say, how do I know to do it? But the message is hidden in the mixture. If I'm right and I remember right, this is the one constellation, and this is the second constellation. Well, this is obviously Hydra, so that must be Hydra. But you cannot unscrabble the message unless you use both of them. But I knew instantly that I had to use both of them. How do I do that? Because I'm being guided. Well, believe me or not, I am being guided, and I think this video is going to go a long way to proving that. And even if this video isn't enough, look at the others, because this is only again a snippet of the whole thing. And this is phenomenal. I've left the stars up there in case anybody wants to write them down and then check against the message that I'm about to show you, which is mind-blowing, especially what it connects to. Okay, bear with me. Okay, folks. Right, the actual message says, Church of Ra, that's effectively the Vatican, but don't be fooled, because the little fish that represent, you know, the fish, the Jesus fish, well, that is part of my big map, and obviously the fish is the tail of Leviathan's head. And what that is telling you is that the church is blindly following the head. And, you know, the small fish, the chapels, your churches, it's Christianity, and basically, and I know that people will try, you know, because of the indoctrination, Most people will turn away from this message and won't even look at it, Christians, I know it. And I'll probably be accused of the Antichrist, whatever. But I'm telling you, this is in creation. This is not my message. This is Yah's message that He is showing me to show you. Okay, Church of Ra has a Jerus Ashes plan. Jerus is Jerusalem. It's the decoded Jerusalem where I live. And I've decoded all this. It even has my name encoded in it, along with, there's so much to it. Right, okay. Right, but what they're going to do is kick off a war. That's what it amounts to, and this is already happening, whether you believe it or not. If you go to my World War III, the bear that raises up on one side with 3 ribs in his mouth prophecy, you'll see exactly where that is. It's Finland, Sweden and Norway. When Oslo falls, Oslo is an anagram of Solo, you head to Mon. Mon is Monmouthshire and obviously the key. Now I'm about to link all this together and show you something phenomenal using the Vatican key. It says add a key, proof had a HID. Well, a H is the safe zone. It's Solomon's key. It's the code for the man. I'm the H man, the secret H man. But what they don't realise, I'm sure they don't. I don't know whether they know this or not, but it's very, very sneaky. But well, I think sneaky depends who did it. Right, cross is an anagram of Roman Catholic SOS. ISH. They're planning to save their souls and basically outwit Yah's judgment. That's what it amounts to. By going and well, again, I could go into a lot of detail. There's a dollar bunker right under. If you go on Solomon's symbology, you find this. I've done it sideways, but what it does, it fits on. There's an army base. Oh, actually, it should be. That's right. Yeah. Well, right. That's supposed to be a fence anyway. This is an army base. This is the lock. This end goes on the lock. This end goes on the fort key. Obviously, it points to an apple as well because they've bitten the apple and they're going to get it as well. But this dollar symbol, it's on Solomon. Again, without getting into it, but what they've done is they've basically realised that the safe zone is right. The end time safe zone is between. Well, it's actually at the lock, but the key unlocks the fort and unlocks the code. What you do is you overlay Cancer constellation onto a map of Britain. Bottom line: Swindon, Exeter, Holyhead, and this is Fort H, the key. Again, this is to do with the H man. I can't go into all this now, otherwise we'll be all day. G is Jerusalem, and this is the fort. Then when you take the Royal Arch in Cancer, which I was born in because I'm the decoder, and you've got the sun with the face, and then you've got the moon, you've got Pleiades, so this is Please ID, that's the Pleiades anagram. This is Secret Sion 1, but when the sun of the moon sign in Cancer comes to the full, the moon goes over the safe zone and highlights it. And what you have is a full moon in Cancer. Now, as an omen, and I'm pretty sure it is, and well, I'm 99.9% sure that this year, and I've got more to this, but I don't want to put it out there quite yet, but this year started with a full moon in Cancer. Right, my birthday, where I just messed up, is the second full moon in Cancer. This year, and this is obviously doesn't happen every year, ends with a full moon in Cancer. Okay, you've got your 666 and your 999. Combine these, 999 is obviously an emergency, 666 is Fink's Fallen Few, which gives you the name of the man. It's Lawrence Douglas Fink is Lucifer, who just basically is the man pulling the strings. But and this is why Cancer is also a 9 and a 6. It's the year. I'm positive this is the year of the safe. This is the safe zone. So it's certainly an omen towards it, if nothing else. but it's the year of the 666 falling and the 999 emergency rising, and obviously the Royal Arch in Cancer, like I say, R is the Royal, G is Jerusalem, the H is Llanmelin, Royal Gwent Hospital is RGH, is where I was born as well. So the H represents the hospital and the 999. It's all part of a bigger code, but I won't be able to go into it anymore. But what we're going to do now, so, right, note this has a Z on it, that means it's not going to happen, I can tell you that now. But what they're doing is basically the Church of Ra, this is the Vatican, and you know, all the high-ranking Freemasons, the scum of this earth, really, that rules us. Basically, or the West it is they're leading us to war. That's what it's going to happen. There's no doubt about it. And it's going to go through Finland, Sweden, Norway, and then they'll be in Britain. Check the World War III video, and you'll see how this is all written into the Atlas, last message. Right, so add a key, proof had a HID. Well, right, okay, bear with me a second. Let me show you the key. Just quickly before I show you the key, just so you know, if you're new to this again, you haven't seen the World War III video, there's a complete message basically that decodes from the place names of Denmark, Sweden, Norway, Oslo, Helsinki, or this code. There's more than one code, there's multiple codes, so it's not like there's no chance of this being coincidence. Now the big code and the signal to get ready basically is when Oslo falls, you know they're on their way. Right, Norway is an anagram of on way are. This is telling you they're coming to Britain. And what you do is you connect a line from Oslo to Mon, but the Mon is the key. And then you go for, and then there's a message in Göbekli Tepe Temple, Turkey, which says keep key temple route lit, keep key temple route GB lit. And literally, it's an ancient, he says, I show you things in ancient times, so when they happen, you know I did it and it's real. Right, okay, but the sort of final part of the code, the signal to get to Mon, to the RGH house, which is also recorded in Orion's, the entire Orion sort of constellation with all the nebulas and everything else, the final words of that is head RGH house, final land. Again, you'd have to go back and see the Orion, the decoded Orion complete message. Okay, but there's a reason I'm showing you this, because I already said that when Oslo falls, because Oslo is an anagram of Solo, and this is where the three ribs go down, you need to head to Mon. When you put the two together, you get the Solo Mon RGH house. Okay, Norway on our way, you got the R, so you got the Oslo on our way R, and then Mon GH, which gives you the Royal Gwent Hospital house, which is literally the house where I lived when I was born, which is which is literally 20 feet from the lock on the temple. I was literally born in the temple, because it would have been, I say that correct, I wasn't born there, I was taken to the Royal Gwent Hospital, but my parents lived there, so my crib was literally in the temple when I came into this world. Anyway, okay folks, right, let's go. So it says add a key. Right, I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, but let me just pop the satellite view on. Right, this is Rome, and bear with me, and my map's frozen. This is the Vatican. Oh no, please don't mess me about. Bear with me 2 seconds, guys and girls. Right, this is the Vatican, this part here, and this is basically, there is a hidden key built into that leads from I think it's St. Paul's Basilica. Here, there's the cross of the sort of sideways cross, which is Roman Catholic SOS, incidentally, as well. This is the lock, and this is like well, this key, unbelievably, is going to lead us to the real Solomon's kingdom. Now, whether the Masons or somebody or the Vatican, whoever built this, put it there deliberately, I don't know. But either way, Yah would have put it in their head to do it, so I've got no doubt why it's there. But, and I know that because of what's coded in it, and the Vatican definitely don't realise this. Again, you can believe this is coincidence, but I think you'll find that, well, when you see it, you'll know that there's no way. Right, as you can see, we got this. This is the actual tip of the key. I've got a good picture of it. Right. Bear with me. Let me just 2 seconds. Let me just find this picture off this video. Okay, folks. Right. Sorry about that. Right. This is the key. This is the key on the map. I've taken this off a guy, Wayne Herschel's channel. What he's doing, he's showing how this all lines up. But as you can see, it's sort of kind of a better version, but there you go. Now the message that's hidden is in, if I can show you this part here. This is the garden, and this is the Castel Sant'Angelo. Okay, there's a hidden message in there, but amazingly, where this points to, this key is just incredible and shows you what well, whether they, like I say, they clearly know where this is aimed at, but whether they don't, I wouldn't thought they know the code that I've got, really. Bear with me. Right, so let me just put this back. Now let me show you, because this is where Oslo comes in. Right, if I line up, there's even a bridge there, and literally a line I can follow up. And I line up through this Castel Sant'Angelo. Right, just so you know, there's Castel Sant'Angelo. I can't get it in Italian. Castel Sant'Angelo. And this bit here is called, where is it? It's called the Parco della Mole Adriana. Okay, which probably obviously means whatever it means in Italian. I don't know, the park or something. But there's something hidden in there that's absolutely mind-boggling. Right, now the best part of this, if I follow central line up through, this is where it hits, directly on Oslo. Okay, now Oslo is obviously connected to, bear with me, sorry guys and girls, I meant to have this ready. I'm afraid of half the time of this right. This is the key, the real key of Solomon, the worn key it is. Okay, so what you do is you follow the key directly up. Hang on, we're not on. Right, this is the real key of Solomon. Well, I'm the key, but this is and again, this decodes Clan Melvin, which is my family. And now here's where it gets amazing. What I'm going to do, and I'm going to have to, right, I'm working, bear with me, where I am sat doing this video, and I do all the videos from, is where I work. And this is going to become apparent now. If I pinpoint onto the roof, this is literally where I am now, the office on the place I work. Now this place is it's East Leys Corsham, which says yes Atlas, Marcos H. Okay, so that's the identification of the H man. That's one of them, but there's more to come on that. But I don't think I'm gonna have time to show you. But if you look here, when I follow the central line of where the key, this is exactly where this key points to my exact office. Now this is going to become apparent when I unbelievably show you where I work and how this connects to the Vatican. Not literally, but it's everything, everywhere I go and work and do seems to be coded. And obviously to pass on to you, to show you that I truly am the chosen one to guide you through all what's coming. Okay, on that note, bear with me a second. Okay, my very wonky key, not very good, I know, but obviously the best I can do, and showing that this star lines up with Oslo. Then obviously it points to the key at Mon. Now you've got the lock as well, and what have you. Obviously it's not in proportion because it's not near Italy. But and then that points down to the very place I'm working. And what I'm about to show you is absolutely phenomenal. Bear with me, let me just adjust the camera a little bit. Right, as you can see, I've put down that the garden is called the Parco della Mole Adriana. and then you've got Castel St. Angelo. What this is basically, G-Rus is named after the constellation Jerusalem is named after the constellation G-Rus. It's a constellation in the night sky. They've added a mel, which when you reverse it or mix it up, it's the Alem part. So it's Jerusalem or G-Rus a mel. Okay, right, without confusing it too much, this is basically directions to the real star fort. Okay, but hidden in there, which I guarantee they don't know this exists, unbelievably, is this message. I'll just take this off a minute so I can write it. Now bear in mind that this is pointing to Oslo. When you unscrabble this entire thing, it says, oopsie. Okay, unbelievably, it says Marco Open Atlas Code or real ID Satan Angel. Okay, this points to Oslo, so clearly that does open the, it opens the code up completely for the obviously for the final sort of signal to the safe zone. But it also shows that they built this key in mind. It's deliberately pointing to Oslo for them, but it's showing their final safe zone. And don't forget, it's on the end of a cross, with the cross, sideways cross, which when you take the word cross, it's RCSOS. But this is not for Roman Catholics, and literally it's just for them basically, and Satan and the Satan Angel. Now I will show you the Satan Angel. Okay. As like I said, I can't go through it all, but it's quite, the code is deep with this. But this line also goes through Denmark, the code goes up through Denmark to pass, well, literally goes through Denmark to hit Oslo, which connects to the other two ribs, which are Finland and Sweden. Obviously this is on Norway, which I've done. The bear is Russia over here, so when it raises up on one side with three ribs in its mouth, the three ribs, if you look on a map, this is awful, but it resembles three ribs. And obviously it's going to devour the three ribs. Okay, so Denmark, Sweden. Whoops, I always spell the W for some reason. Why do I do that? Probably Swede. Sweden. Finland and Norway. Turkey, who turned the key as well, which is part of the other code, have just opened or have given it the go-ahead for Sweden to join NATO as well, which means all the locks are off as well. But that won't make any sense unless you remember or seen the original video I did for the World War III. I would highly recommend watching that one because that's critical to know, and you can see this happening in the world. Okay, right, where are we? It says, right, now bear in mind there's more than one code in this, so it's going to be, so I'm IDing Satan's angel, which is Lucifer. Satan is Ra, this is Lucifer, so he's like partners in crime at this point. Both of them trying to survive what's about to take place. Thinks Eden. And sadly, this says that Lucifer will bring down the nations, basically. And this is what this says. That this is an anagram of this. And thinks Eden World War and thinks Eden World War end many. In other words, there's only going to be so many that are going to make this, unfortunately. So, like I say, I cannot emphasise enough how much you need to get your hands up, stand in the letter Y, put your sins on your palms, call on Yah, not Jesus. Whatever you do, do not call on Jesus. Call on Yah, ask for forgiveness, and like I say, I've shown you an example of where he's forgiven me. So he is forgiving, because I broke, well, not completely deliberately, but whichever way you look at it, I didn't keep my word in, but, well, no, but tiny bit, it doesn't matter, but either way. But, so ID Satan, well, Mark Open Atlas code, all real, well, that explains itself, and this is an anagram from these. ID Satan Angel, well, Satan's angel is Think, this is Lucifer, and Think's Eden World War end many. So there's the message. So unless you get your hands up, get right with Yah, ask for forgiveness and mean it, turn to him completely, you know, and be willing, he'll guide you in. And obviously just the fact that you're even seeing this video, I would suggest that you've got, well, you're one of the lucky ones. And why people, you know, get led, this channel's not big, I know. But I think, well, it's only a remnant that's going to survive. I just hope that remnant's, you know, quite big. Okay, this doesn't end there. So I'm just hopefully showing you so many things that make sense and add up, that you will realise that this is the divine plan for the end. That's what it is. And I am chosen for whatever reason, I do not know, but to get you all to do the right thing. Okay, where we go next? All right, well, let's do this one. This one's brilliant. There's a code. There are 8 planets. I'm sure there's a message in there of them as well, but I haven't got it yet, but I'm sure the time will come. 8 planets, and there's a sun and a moon, but in the context of Solomon's work, it's Sol and moon. Okay. 8 planets, Sol, moon. Just in case you need any convincing, it's even written in our, whatever it is, solar system, I'm not sure what they call it, solar system is it, or whatever. Pi GH, well, as I showed you, GH, this is the top of the pillars of Solomon, this is what it means. It's a star map, the one is an atlas, one is a star map, so use the stars in the map. There's more to it than this. Like I say, this is to do with the RGH as well, with the house, which is next door to the temple. Holy head. But basically the GH, you put the moon sign around it, and that's why it says Pi GH, plan set, Oslo Mon. Well, as I've showed you, Oslo and Mon, when Oslo falls, you get to Mon. That is the signal that you know that the Russians are basically are invading Britain, and they're coming, and they're not going to lose, I can tell you that now. We are fast heading that way. Bear with me a second, let me just get myself together here a bit. Okay folks, this next one blew my mind, and well, this just shows the brilliance of this code, because as I showed you, the key points to where the exact spot that I'm working now, and you will see how this becomes relevant, okay? And just proving that this Atlas matrix Atlas is an anagram of a last. And it's a last message written using, well, it's the matrix, and to unlock the matrix, you use the padlock on the temple, the lock in the shape of the padlock, the stone is in the shape of a padlock, literally, and you unlock the matrix by unlocking the padlock. When you unlock the padlock, it says add add P, L-O-C-K, and lock. So you add the P to the matrix, and to unlock the matrix, once you unlock it, you realise it's an Atlas message or a last message using map tricks. And that's what this is. It's all map tricks. And this is how the creator is getting his message down to me to show you, so that you're not in any doubt that, well, or you shouldn't be, that with all this that I'm showing you, that is really, you know, that I've connected and I was sent to do this. I don't get it. I don't remember anything before this, but clearly something went on and I've been sent to do this job. And as I will show you, the book of Job, the book is the atlas. So it's the atlas of the job. It's some sort of, I think it's an allegory. Whether it really took place with what happened to him, I don't know. But it doesn't have parallel in what's happened to me. And you know, and everything. I live in a caravan. I had a business, and well, anyway, right. This is where it gets incredible, because I couldn't believe this. So that key points to exactly where I am, and I can pinpoint it. So I follow the Vatican key up to Oslo, gives you Solo Mon, so Solomon's key. I am Solomon's key, really. It says that in one of the codes, which is on the next video. I got so much to show you with the secret H and everything else. But anyway, it points basically to exactly where I'm working now. Now this says, when you know the code in it, and they sure don't. Oops, sorry, see it, led at So see it. Well, see, again, I showed you the see, it locks in the key, the temple and everything else. So lock in Solomon's code. That's what this amounts to, because this really locks in Solomon's code, or me being the key to Solomon, and the whole thing, the whole secret message. Unbelievable, and I wouldn't have believed it myself not going that far back, a couple of years. But anyway, okay. Right. I shouldn't do this, but I trust Yar anyway. He's going to make sure that this doesn't happen. I currently am working this building where I'm doing the security, and funnily enough, firstly I'm looking after wine in a bunker, an underground bunker, a wine facility that just happens to be called Octavian Wine. It's also in a place called Eastleys, which is, yes, A-T-L-A-S, yes, Atlas, or A-Last, whichever way around you want to do it. Well, I would suggest this is probably yes, A-Last. Message about getting away from the wine. And because they're going there, and the bunker obviously the bunker is obviously representative of the bunker they have underneath, between the lock and the key is that base that I showed you, and they've got $1 billion, whatever it is, bunker underneath there, and that's where Fink and his fallen few, FFF 666, the few of the word, the number of the man is Fink. Fink is the man, and the beast is the few reversed. It's WEF. I'll show you in a second anyway. We'll do it while we're here. And this is MARCO. OS and H. It's also Marco because there's two codes in this. One is for the Ark of the Covenant, the Welsh Ark. Right, so see it, led at Octavian. Well, I'm at the exact place, and I do all the decoding here. I don't generally do it at home, although I'm never there. I sleep in the caravan, and I live here apart from a Saturday. Obviously learned my lesson on that one for messing up, and I even proved that. But it says, see it, led at Octavian. Well, I am literally in a building owned by Octavian Wine. The place I'm working is Eastleys, Corsham. It says Octavian, yes, Atlas, Marcos, H. It's wine in a bunker. Obviously, it's representative of Or does it say you shall not, the oil and the wine? Yeah, the oil and the wine. They're saving themselves. Whilst you're waiting for, or the Christians are waiting and everyone else is waiting for their Jesus, he isn't coming. He's not coming. And this is the safe zone is where I've showed you. And the signal is Oslo. And when Oslo falls, you need to get to Mon. But the main thing you need to do is to get... you know, oh, it's the Octavian wine key as well. I just seen that. It's popped into my head. There we go. Right. I think it's just a couple more things before I wrap up this video. I've got so much more to show you with the secret H, but I'm going to have to do it on another video because otherwise this is not going to upload. Okay, right. Another star constellation. Let me just spell it. Is that right? Venetici. Venetici, the hunting dogs. Okay. This one says, this is a constellation, by the way. What have I done? Hang on, let's do that start again. Shoot it right, it's easier. Right, bear with me. And right, what this is basically the CC. The secret of the Freemasons is the CC, because once you CC, you so lock in Mon's kingdom, Mon's temple, and you know the big secret that they're hiding from you. Obviously, for whatever purpose, I do not know. But once you CC, you can unlock the temple and everything else. Okay, but the Vatican have a holy see, as they call it. It should be an unholy see. Let's put it a UN Holy See. United Nations Holy See. The unholy See. Which is still, it's the same thing, you see. So the Vatican and the Freemasons are hand in hand. It's one bird, two wings that play each other off, like as if the one joined the one, you can't join the other type thing. They're in the same team. It's all a front. But, and this is hunting, all we do is rearrange, hunting... Right, I still want to use the word dogs, but I think this is because that's what we're doing. Right, we're hunting those that have made themselves gods. So I see Vatican C hunting the gods, okay? But I use a G because God is a deception, as I'm about to show you, and it's why I never like to. I have to refer to it because it's the only way that I hate using the word, and I'll show you why. The whole thing is a deception. God, I believe, well, no, I don't, I'm not going to say it just for now, just on the try. Right, but let me just show you something. Cetus Janus. If you're not familiar with Janus, it's a two-faced Roman god. Sometimes you get even the one depicting horns. So what it is, and it comes very often on a coin as well. Literally, Jesus, Satan. This is Ra. It's both sides, playing both sides of the coin, and this is only used to keep the people subdued while this walks all over us, basically. And literally, when the time comes, they're planning to destroy this entire world and create their own Zion. This is their ashes plan to destroy the world. Fortunately, there's two places that line up. One is called Wraxall, not far, well, sort of just over Bristol Way, and next to it is a thing called Fairland. And what it says is, this is the plan. Raxall's no H, sorry, it's just Raxall. War-X, or, unfortunately it says, and fail. Because they're going to fail. Their plan is going to fail. So that G-Roos Ashes plan is not going to work. But while you're, like I say, if you're going to wait and sit with Jesus, you're going to be in big trouble. And I can tell you that now. You need to get right with the Creator. There is no intermediary as in, like I cannot save anybody. In fact, I had to be saved myself and kicked up the butt now. Well, obviously I've had to kick up the butt for like, well, I don't even want to think about it, but you know, this is where it's all going, people. And like I say, I'm showing you things that are actually there, and they shouldn't be. They're absolutely impossible. Oh, in fact, you know what? I'm going to just show you the other one as well. I was a bit dubious about doing this, but listen, this is about truth. This is not about dressing things up. Okay, so we got Jesus. Chorus. They're doing capitals just for the thing. Okay, because these are one, and this is the other one that you're praying to. Okay, so he's this one. This is the reskinning of the snake, and eventually the snake swallows its own tail, and it's and it shows the tail with the Ouroboros because it is a tail, and the word tail also means a story. It's the great lies is Satan swallowing his own lie. That's what it amounts to. Okay, where are we? Okay. He sus J. This is me. This is literally predicted me doing it. He sus J. Well, I sus that J, and it's a complete and utter lie. The whole Jesus, Jerusalem, the whole thing is an absolute lie, and they've just covered up the real Creator. It's just a complete lie. It says, go do Roos name Ra. Well, firstly, the Roos name is G-Roos. This is where the apple is. And it's just showing you that his name is Ra. And he's reskinned this apple. This is the church and everything else, and the whole story. Yesu, I forget how you spell it. Yesu, I think. This is the guy that's buried under this tump, along with Joseph of Arimathea. I don't know whether he was actually, well, he's clearly either a prophet or a liar, one of the two. I'm not sure, but the fact he's under the apple and he's bitten it just tells me that it's not good. But this is I don't know whether he's Welsh, could be Cornish actually, but either way, this is the guy, the story of the life story of Jesus going round as a prophet is based on, and then they've beefed it up, changed it to Jesus, changed the whole book basically. And when does a Bible become unholy? When they take the name of the Creator out of it and they mangle it up and literally change it all. But what they don't realise, there's still code in there to tie this together so that you know that, well, really, and there's so much more I know that I haven't even put out there yet. But he says, Jay, go do Roos name Ra. Well, the Roos name Ra is Amen Ra. And when you do, like I say, don't send your prayers to the snake or the serpent. It's a sneaky one in the garden. Okay, on that note, guys and girls, I'm going to wrap this up. I've not even got close to doing what I was going to do. But, yeah, I'll have to leave it there. But let's get rid of that a minute. If you want to see, just type in Janus in Google, and you'll see the two-faced God of Rome. The two-faced God of Rome, like I say, it's the Satan and Jesus. That's the two faces. They're both on the two faces. I'll say no more. Right, what you need to do is do what I do. You don't pray with your hands together. because that's just hiding your sins. You put your sin in your, how else did I do this? This is just so you can see this as well. I can't remember how to do it. That's why you got your psalms, your sin in your palms. You bow your head, literally, and this, well, hopefully well, for me, what this did is, there's the key, there's the lock, because this is a reflection of the end time safe zone. Again, if you go back over it, where I've done the Solomon, Great Seal of Solomon, then what you get, there's the moon sign, there's the 1-4, there's the other 4, obviously it'll be upside down, so that'll be the key. It's the key, unlock your temple, because the temple, these are the temples you need to unlock. That's the moon sign over it, or these are the temples you need to lock. Again, just to show you, no coincidence, so you know who Solomon is. I've done it a million times before, but the code is, go and pray. Oops. I'm just showing you this so you know there's no coincidence, and this is all code C. Okay, so to identify Solomon when he's looking in the reflection, this is the River Severn, which is the Sinai, or seen the rendezvous for the tribes, which is, I won't get into it all, but this is Solomon. This identifies Solomon as well, the real Solomon, as Coelin ap Caradog, the son of David, who is decoded, is basically David it's a code, and it's Caradog ap Bran. Caradog ap Bran was said that it was ruled from Caerwent, funnily enough, and you can check that. It lies about it, but he is king of Siluria, which is the land of his rule, basically. And Siluria, Gymru, is a whole lot bigger than just Britain. Like I say, it's just not the Wales of today. It's a lot bigger than that. But if you want this safe zone, like I say, and I've shown you all what and if the Vatican, it says the key, add key, proof, HID. So they got proof because they know this safe zone, or they know the key in the lock. I'm guessing at least the key, and that's where. And they've placed their military bunker, or their bunker for the end times, where they're going to pop up and from the ashes, as it says, as a G-Roos ashes plan. Yeah, to come up from the ashes and to basically set up a new world. Obviously, this isn't going to go to plan, and it will be what it will be. But this is really going to happen, guys and girls. I kid you not. I have no doubt that there's no way that everything I've shown you over 50 videos is coincidence. And I just hope you get those hands up. His name is Yahweh. And like I say, just all you got to do is just literally just say sorry. That's what you got to do. Same as I did, and he just shown his mercy on me, which is probably why that's had to happen in this matrix that we live in. On that note, I'll leave it, and I just Yah's blessings till next time.